Welcome everyone to another In Conversation with the Game Changers of Durham region. And extremely lucky because we have, I don't know if you're aware, but there's a TEDx Oshawa event coming up on June 8th. And some great speakers, some great talent in the Durham region. And today we have one of those speakers. So I'm really excited to be speaking with Mr. Atif Rashid. And he's here with me today. And I welcome him. Welcome, Atif, to In Conversation here on Durham Life. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it. And, I'm happy to be here and sharing my message where I can. Look forward to our conversation today.
Perfect. I appreciate that. No, I was reading a bit about your bio on your website, and wow, you've had quite a journey. I'm just really amazed, and I'm really excited to hear a bit more about it. But let's start with you came to Canada. Let me check my notes here. In 2006, 20 years old, and you're by yourself, and some extreme feelings come over you, and during that time. So if you just want to maybe let us know like how that was for you to come to another world, a new country like that, and start from fresh.
Definitely.
I mean, that's amazing.
And a lot of immigrants are not prepared for it because they are looking for a new life, a world of opportunities, right? And I remember that night, 10th March 2006, landing in Toronto and taking a connecting flight to Halifax, Nova Scotia. It was a raining, dark night. I could smell the smell of new opportunities, a new beginning, right, for me. And I decided to go to Dalhousie University. And first year was a bit challenging. I remember really having a hard time with not having any friends. I've left all my friends, my pals, everybody back home. And being in Halifax, where I was in the minority in my program, mostly people were just locals, and I couldn't see anyone from Pakistan or anyone from any other countries. So it was very not as diverse back in the days. So I was struggling, and I still remember funny story I'll tell you quickly, that I walked into our international student advisor office. She was sitting there, and I don't know what came on me, that I literally just opened my heart to her, just told her that I'm struggling. And I felt like crying because it was suffocating, right? Not being able to speak. I mean, I did speak English, but, not as good as, the locals. So it took me a bit of time to get used to language and the harsh winter. And she ended up putting up an ad on the Dal.ca website for me. I still think about it. I wish I had taken a screenshot of it. It was comical, but at the same time showed that how much I was struggling with loneliness at that time, which a lot of people are not prepared for it. There's a lot more resources now versus back then. So that ad was there, and a bunch of people connected with me through that ad. So later I laughed about it, like how desperate I was to make friends coming in new. That was a challenge.
No, yeah, that's a great story. I mean, you're touching on loneliness, and it's a problem in our society now. Loneliness, people of all ages, people, young, students in their 20s, thousands of friends on Instagram, but yet they feel lonely. So that's a very common feeling, no doubt, for sure. So you're at Dalhousie University, and you met another guy, David, and you guys become quick friends. And tell us a bit about that friendship, because it really is a one in a million friendship. And for the listeners and the viewers here, I'd really like them to get a feel for what you've gone through here. So tell us that story with David.
Exactly, and I call it a friendship at first sight, because I feel like he was waiting for me there at the lobby of Dalhousie University Management Department. So we just became instantly good friends within the first year of my move to Halifax. And, we spent a lot of time together, McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Big Macs, you name it. We were inseparable, right? And we graduated in 2009. So we had a picture taken together, super excited. And he moved away to Peace River, Alberta, to do his accounting internship at a local accounting firm. But not long after, early 2010, he developed cancer in his right leg. So he came back from Peace River to back to Halifax, stay with his family. And I still remember time going to his house, spending time with him, trying to comfort him in that difficult time. And he was told he had to, it was a very aggressive type of cancer, osteosarcoma. He would have to lose his leg. And that was devastating for him, his family. And I didn't know what to think. He was a young guy and starting his life after graduation. But here was a big wrench in all those plans. And I remember, night before his amputation, I went to his house in his basement. It was a huge TV. His dad rented a CD for this movie called Cool Runnings. So, we watched the movie and I was starting to comfort him. And then, after his amputation, I learned a lot from him. He was so positive and focused, even in the midst of adversity. And I remember he was craving his favorite beef jerky and junior chicken burgers during his chemotherapy. So I would bring him those, So yeah, we developed a very strong bond, and through these mutual stories of inspiration. And then right after, he recovered, he went away again to continue his work, and I started having pain in my right leg in early 2013. So if you think about it, early 2010, he had cancer. So not long after, a couple of years later, I developed pain in my right leg. And I still remember David was in Halifax for a visit to his parents, and asked him, this is a conversation we had. Hey, David, I've been having pain in my right leg. Maybe it's the same thing. And I was not being serious. I was just making a conversation. And his response was, Atif, it's a 1 in a million chance that I will know someone with a similar condition. So I remember that conversation. It comforted me that, that pick totally makes sense. What are the chances? And in February 2015, I found out that I have cancer in my right leg and I would have to lose my leg. And I told his family and David. It was a bizarre thing to even hear, or unbelievable, right? How is that even possible on earth? And you wouldn't believe, even before my amputation, I even told my family doctor that, my best friend David had cancer. So maybe do some tests to make sure it's not cancer. Atif, don't worry about it. You're young, healthy, it's just nothing. They disregarded my concerns completely. Makes sense, right? I mean, what are the chances? Your friend had a cancer, and So I found David to be there for me every single day. He was not in Halifax back then, in Peace River. He was actually back then in Bermuda. He would Skype with me every day. Back then we used to Skype a lot. And he would take his leg off, hop around to show me, Atif is fine. You're okay with one leg. So, to be honest, if I didn't have that time with him during that time, I would go into some sort of severe mental illness or issues or depression, whatever you call it. He allowed me to actually swim through that, difficult time, with no difficulty, right? I was able to focus on more recovery rather than what just happened. I was able to look forward to the good days like he's having right now in Bermuda. And the biggest thing was my son, 11 months old. And, it was just that thoughts in my mind, what kind of dad I would be with one leg. So those times really were difficult for me. Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Thanks for sharing that, because I don't think you can write a movie script like in real life, like you just gone through. So thank you for sharing it. That's amazing. So at TEDx Oshawa, Atif, your theme is emotional poverty. You seem to be touching on a bit of that now, and you seem to be in the low a bit, in the flow of it all these days. So what's your talk a bit more? Can you give us a bit of a synopsis of your talk at the TEDx conference?
Talk will be about giving people a mission, which is I'm on this mission. I call it Inspire One, Impact Billions. So what this means is when you inspire someone, when you actually say some kind words to someone, whether you say someone, I believe in you, whether you just even listen to someone is struggling with their life, just listen. Don't say a word. that goes a long way. Then you're helping someone to feel accepted, or you can actually be someone's accountability partner, just like I said before. Or you can tell someone, I thank you for your service. So I do that often myself. I sometimes I get out of the car and see someone lawn mowing or doing some cleaning. I tell them, thank you for your service, recognizing each other more. And so that's going to be that's what this mission is about. We need to do our part as one human being, inspire one person a day. And also, I believe in the ripple effect of inspiration. So when you inspire one person, you actually start a ripple effect of inspiration. Believe that that person will inspire so many others. That is what I will prove during my talk by sharing a beautiful story, actually from Pakistan, where I was born. So I was visiting Pakistan last year in October and decided to give a talk at a local university in Pakistan. And I'll be sharing that story, how I've completely potentially changed someone's life trajectory by simply sharing my story. No rocket science. So I think the fact that we think we when we want to move someone, inspire someone, it doesn't take much. It just, all it takes is you being your authentic self, sharing a beautiful story.
Yeah, great words. Great words. I appreciate that. That's we need to hear that more often. Thank you so much for that. Hey, I'm just very curious. How long have you been speaking, and how long have you been developing this skill? Your whole mission, if you will. So tell me a bit about that.
So this is a good question, because since 9 years ago, that's what my intention was. There was a thirst, there was a need for me to find my purpose, and I've gotten a couple opportunities. Back in 2019, I was attending my son's Terry Fox Run event at their school. So they just gave me the mic, just say something. I'm like, okay, I'm not a speaker. I don't really know even what am I going to say. So I was able to say a few words and inspire people. And it's ironically, what a coincidence that my son's class was representing Nova Scotia. So each class was representing each province. So their class was representing Nova Scotia for no reason. I mean, my amputation happened in Nova Scotia, right? So that was a surprising, it was a coincidence, right? So yeah, that was it. And then the pandemic started, and I didn't really go and speak much. I did one webinar during the pandemic at the same school, spoke with the whole school, shared my story, and inspired young minds. And so yeah, it didn't start until last year, the full-blown Atif,
Wow.
going on a mission, because again, it's really consistent with the mission: inspire one, impact billions. Some simple words can change your whole direction in your life. I was attending this conference last year in Ottawa, and I was listening to this beautiful speaker, Karina LeBlanc. She shared her life story, how she overcame so many obstacles, adversities in her life, and I felt like urged that I'm ready for it. I want to share my story. I literally got up and took the mic as an audience member and told her my story, very quickly, and then said, I wish I can be someday where you are sharing your story. And she just kind of she kind of yelled at me, like saying, you are already there, my friend. And she said, you're awesome. That's the video I'll be sharing during my TEDx talk. The reason I want to share that video is that those few words had a profound impact on me, how I've started seeing myself. So after one of the speakers left, I got on stage, took a picture of me, just to visualize that this is where I want to be next year. So guess what? I gave a talk at the same event this year on the May 7th. So being able to visualize and then using her words to give me the confidence. Since last year, I've been giving talks everywhere: local schools, universities, corporate events, a Terry Fox Run Foundation event, local in Ottawa. So I've given over 20 inspirational talks. I was in Toronto during Christmas time, gave a talk at a CP Ontario event. And so there's a bunch of events I've been giving talks at. And then even in Pakistan, I was attending my brother's wedding. I decided I'm going to give a talk here. Why not? So I'm unstoppable. I mean, I feel like this is going to be my journey until I take my last breath. And to be honest, if I die today, I'm not going to die with a regret. At least I found my purpose and I'm pursuing it.
Good for you. Good
And
for you.
that's kind of what I want to do for others, to help them find their purpose, live
Perfect.
a life of purpose, and inspire and impact billions. Is such a simple concept. At the same time, it tells people that with just one inspiration, if you inspire one person, you make a huge impact. And one of the things I share about, Mother Teresa once said, it's not the grand gestures that make a difference, rather small things done with love. Telling someone I believe in you, that's all you need to inspire someone, to change someone's whole life trajectory. Just like Karina LeBlanc told me, you were already there, my friend. She didn't have to say anything more. That was it.
Wow.
She
Perfect.
completely changed me. Yes.
Yeah, you're so true. So true. Hey, I'll just wrap this up. Recently, by the way, you can follow Atif on LinkedIn. He's got a pretty active posting on LinkedIn. But comedy is in your future. I saw you posting something about comedy.
No, so I've been writing jokes since I lost my leg to cancer. I call them amputee dark humor. And I've been writing for a long time. And last year I was visiting Toronto, and I said, okay, I have a day, so I don't know what to do. So I just looked up, if there's something to do, and something popped up, like a open mic comedy. Okay, I'll try that. So I went there, just put my name in the thing. I was still not sure what I'm doing, right? It's all about experiencing, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, right? So my name was picked, and I did it, and everybody laughed. Okay, these jokes work. So that was thing. I kept doing it. I came to Ottawa. I found out there's a huge group here. So I've been doing it here as well. And then this week on 29th, I'm going to go to Yuck Yucks local club. And I'm going to do a 7 minutes gig. So I feel like laughter saved my life. One of the things I did when I found out I have cancer. And I was in excruciating pain before my amputation. And all I did was nonstop watched stand-up comedies. And I've been reading now psychological impacts of laughter. And one of the famous psychologists, Viktor Frankl, he talks about it a lot. We underestimate the power of laughter, especially when we're dealing with difficult things in life. So at that time, I was basically disconnecting myself from my reality to protect my psychology, my brain, basically, from that big event. So, and then, how laughter is so unique to humans. You don't see an animal laugh, right? Or telling jokes. This is so unique to us. And so when you are going through a difficult time, I find it still helps me deal with my trauma that I still go through, and manage my trauma by just laughing or helping people laugh. So I will continue to do it as part of my personality. I'm a funny guy, and it'll help me also bring the funny bits into my TEDx talk. I'll do some of them, but yeah. So I'll continue to talk and bring my comedy into my talks, just to show people we underestimate the power of comedy. I think we should value it more, laugh more.
I have to agree with you there. Laughter is a great medicine for sure. So, Atif, I want to thank you for today. This has been a really amazing talk with you, and
My pleasure.
all the best at TEDx Oshawa in 2 weeks, June the 8th. And if
soon.
you're ever in the area again, give us a shout, or let us know you're doing a show. We'll try and promote it for you and do what we can to help. But
I'll be actually, that reminds me, I'll be 20th of July. I'll be at the Port Hope doing talk at it's called Diversity Fair. So I'll be July 20th. So
perfect.
It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, let us know when I get a bit closer. We'll promote that for you. And
Awesome.
again, thanks for your time today. And anybody who's watching this or listening, please, if you can get a chance to go to TEDx Oshawa, the organization there, it's their first year trying this out. And they definitely would love some love and some encouragement. So I encourage you to try and get out there and see. They've got 12 or 16 speakers that day. So try and get out and really enjoy it. It's going to be a great day. And hopefully it's going to be an annual event here in Oshawa with the TEDx conference. So again, Atif, thank you so much for your time today, inspiring us all, and nothing but love for you going forward. Thanks again.
Same here. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.